Long ago, when the world was still young, God looked down upon the earth and saw something heartbreaking. The beautiful world he had created was no longer filled with love, kindness, and gratitude. Instead, people had become selfish, cruel, and violent. They cared only about themselves and ignored God's ways completely. Day after day, evil spread across the land until it seemed that almost every heart had turned away from goodness. The earth, which had once reflected God's perfect creation, had become filled with corruption and sin. Yet among all the people living on earth, there was one man who chose a different path. His name was Noah. He loved God with all his heart, obeyed his commands, and lived a life of honesty and righteousness. While others followed their own sinful desires, Noah remained faithful, trusting God even when no one else did. God was pleased with Noah because of his faithful heart. Although the world around him had become darker each day, Noah continued to walk with God. He taught his family to honor the Lord and to live according to his truth. Noah's faith stood like a bright light in a land covered by darkness. God knew that Noah was different, and because of his faithfulness, God chose him for a very special purpose that would change the course of history forever. God revealed to Noah that he was going to send a great flood upon the earth to wash away the wickedness that had filled every corner of the world. But God also promised to save Noah, his family, and many living creatures so that life could begin again after the flood. God gave Noah very detailed instructions. He told him to build an enormous ark, a giant wooden ship, unlike anything anyone had ever seen before. The ark was to be strong enough to survive the coming flood. It would have 3 levels, many rooms, and a single large door. A window near the roof would allow light to enter, and everything had to be built exactly as God commanded. Noah did not question God's instructions. Even though there had never been a flood like this before, he trusted every word God spoke. Building such a massive ark would take many years of hard work, but Noah obeyed without hesitation. Day after day, Noah worked faithfully on the ark. The sound of hammers echoed across the land as wooden beams were carefully shaped and placed together. His sons helped him with the enormous task, and together they continued building exactly according to God's design. Many people passed by and laughed at Noah. They thought he was foolish for building such a huge ship on dry land. They mocked his faith and refused to believe his warnings about the coming judgment. Noah patiently continued his work, never allowing the laughter or insults of others to weaken his trust in God. His obedience remained stronger than the opinions of the crowd. Years passed and finally the great ark was completed. It stood as a powerful symbol of Noah's unwavering faith and obedience. Then God gave Noah another command. He instructed Noah to bring animals into the ark so they would be preserved during the flood. Pairs of every kind of animal began to arrive. Great elephants slowly approached. Lions walked calmly. Gentle sheep, strong horses, tiny rabbits, colorful birds, crawling insects, and countless other creatures came from every direction. It was an incredible sight unlike anything the world had ever witnessed. God himself guided the animals safely to the ark, ensuring that every kind of living creature would survive. Noah also gathered enough food for his family and for all the animals that would remain inside the ark during the flood. Then Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, along with their wives, entered the ark. 8 people in total stepped inside the enormous vessel. Once everyone was safely inside, God himself shut the great door of the ark. It was a powerful moment. The time for mercy had come to an end, and the time of judgment had begun. Soon dark clouds filled the sky. Rain began to fall, first gently, then harder than anyone had ever imagined. At the same time, fountains of the deep burst open beneath the earth, causing water to rise from below, while rain poured endlessly from above. Rivers overflowed their banks, valleys disappeared beneath rising waters, and mountains slowly became surrounded by the flood. The water continued rising day after day. Every living thing outside the ark was swept away. The flood covered the entire earth, reaching even the highest mountains. Yet in the middle of the endless waters, the ark floated safely because God was protecting everyone inside. For 40 days and 40 nights, rain poured without stopping. Inside the ark, Noah and his family cared for the many animals God had entrusted to them. Every day required faith, patience, and hard work. Although they could hear the storm raging outside, they knew they were safe because they had trusted God's warning. The ark rose higher as the waters lifted it above the earth. Surrounded by endless waves, Noah's family depended completely upon God's care. Even when they could not see what lay ahead, they believed that God would keep his promise. Eventually, the rain stopped, but the floodwaters remained upon the earth for many months. Slowly, God caused a great wind to blow across the waters, and little by little, the flood began to recede. One day, the ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. Although the land was not yet dry, it was the first sign that God was bringing the flood to an end. Noah waited patiently, trusting God's perfect timing rather than rushing ahead on his own. After some time had passed, Noah opened the window of the ark and sent out a raven, but it continued flying back and forth because the earth was still covered with water. Later, Noah sent out a dove. The dove returned because it could find no place to rest. Noah waited 7 more days and sent the dove again. This time it returned carrying a freshly plucked olive leaf in its beak. Noah knew that trees were growing above the water once more, and that the earth was beginning to recover. After waiting another 7 days, Noah released the dove again, and this time it did not return. The bird had found a home, showing that dry land had finally appeared. When the earth was completely dry, God told Noah that it was time to leave the ark. One by one, the animals came out into the fresh air. Birds filled the sky with joyful songs. Animals spread across the land once again. Noah and his family stepped onto dry ground, thankful that God had protected them throughout the flood. The first thing Noah did was not build a house or gather possessions. Instead, he worshiped God. He built an altar and offered sacrifices to thank the Lord for his mercy, protection, and faithfulness. Noah understood that everything they had was a gift from God. God was pleased with Noah's grateful heart. He blessed Noah and his family, telling them to fill the earth once again. Then God made a wonderful promise that would remain true for every generation. He declared that never again would a flood destroy all life upon the earth. As a sign of this everlasting covenant, God placed a beautiful rainbow in the clouds. Whenever rain filled the sky and the rainbow appeared, people would remember God's promise, his mercy, and his faithfulness. The rainbow became a lasting reminder that although God is perfectly just, he is also full of love and compassion toward his creation. The story of Noah teaches us that true faith means obeying God even when we do not fully understand his plans. Noah trusted God for many years while building the ark, despite the ridicule and disbelief of those around him. His obedience saved his family and preserved life for future generations. Noah reminds us that one faithful person can make a difference in a world filled with darkness. God sees those who remain faithful, even when they stand alone. Today, the story of Noah continues to inspire millions of people around the world. It reminds us that God is holy and just, but he is also patient, merciful, and faithful to every promise he makes. Just as Noah trusted God through uncertain days, we too are called to trust him through every storm of life. Even when the future seems unclear, God remains in control. His guidance never fails, his promises never change, and his love endures forever. The rainbow still reminds us that after every storm comes hope, and that those who place their faith in God can find peace, protection, and a future filled with his unfailing grace. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the story of Noah and the Great Flood. We hope this timeless Bible story has reminded you that God always keeps his promises, protects those who trust him, and brings hope even after the darkest storms. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another inspiring Bible adventure. Share this video with your family and friends, and together let's continue learning the amazing stories and life-changing lessons found in God's Word. Until next time, may God bless you, guide you, and fill your heart with his peace.